Miranda Devine, Fox News contributor, New York Post columnist, is likely one of the few people in the entire country who has reported on this story more. What do you make of the developments? Top line news at the moment. What's your headline, Miranda? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Look, I think this is the first step of some sort of accountability after the extraordinarily malign conduct of the DOJ in that Delaware investigation over the past 5 years, as exposed by the two heroic IRS whistleblowers who are still being retaliated against, by the way. So I think the American people should keep them in their thoughts and try to do whatever they can to support them. And so this is just one charge, the gun charges, or three of them actually, but from the same incident. And Hunter Biden has the most expensive lawyers in the country working for him. And not only are they working for him, defending him on this charge, but also they're working to commit lawfare against anybody who's spoken against him or anybody who Hunter Biden regards as being detrimental to him. And that includes poor old Paul MacIsaac, the owner, or the former owner of that now defunct Delaware computer repair shop where the laptop was first dropped off by Hunter. So this is the beginning. I think from what David Weiss, now the special counsel, is indicating, he's has a new set of prosecutors on the case. The previous Assistant U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf has been chastised by those IRS whistleblowers as slow walking and etc. Of course, David Weiss was the boss, so he had to have been involved in that. He's now indicating, though, with quite a pit bull of a new prosecutor, Leo Weiss, that they're just going to play it by the book. That means that there should be an attempt to bring charges in California and Washington, D.C., but of course, the most serious charges, tax charges from 2014, 2015, they've expired. The statute of limitations is gone.
Okay, a couple things here. Washington Post writes this just today. Hunter Biden probe, frayed trust between IRS and Justice, Department of Justice there. And that comes after the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, went on 60 Minutes on Sunday night. Long interview. Here's part of that now.
The allegation is, Mr. Attorney General, that what is described in some quarters as the Biden Justice Department is taking it easy on the president's son.
Well, look, this investigation began under David Weiss. I promised at my nomination hearing that I would continue him on in that position, and that I would not interfere with this investigation.
So some are alleging that this was a cleanup operation on behalf of the AG. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But you mentioned Abby Lowell, high-profile Washington, D.C. attorney. You wonder how that changes this case. But this whole idea about the tension between IRS and the Department of Justice, when you try and piece this together, Miranda, do you think there is something to that now?
Oh, without a doubt. You just saw the testimony of Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, the IRS investigators on this case, and the criticism that they have for the DOJ, for their slow walking, for their obstruction, for their attempts, or successful attempts to remove any questions about Joe Biden, to whether it be Joe Biden's brother or the people associated with Hunter Biden. Mentioning or asking about the big guy was off limits. It's just incredible. And so that's part of it. And I think that you're seeing some very aggressive moves by Hunter Biden's lawyers. And that was going on, even earlier this year when they were demanding meetings with Department of Justice officials. And it seems, whether or not Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, gives himself plausible deniability by staying above the fray and not wanting to hear anything about the case, certainly people below him were liaising with Hunter Biden's lawyers and slow walking and refusing to allow the normal investigative steps to be taken.
Yeah. Miranda, thank you. Just getting a little more information from our team down there in Wilmington. The judge, Christopher Burke, gave both sides about 30 days, November 3rd, 2023, to file motions. And as David Spunt was referring to a moment ago, Abby Lowell still maintains that the diversion agreement that was signed on behalf of both sides this summer, they believe that original plea is still in effect. So look to see him argue that in court to get this all perhaps dismissed. That will at least be part of the original arguments when we move closer to the 3rd of November. Miranda, thank you very much. We'll speak again very soon on this and more. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.